When I'm walking down the streets, usually I'm regarded with great taste. My bag is expensive, but sometimes I'm ashamed of myself because I never watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. You would assume this is a show that everyone watches as their kid. I never got around to. And I never got around to when I got older either. But I made sure to change that because my best friend watched Hunter x Hunter with me, my favorite show, for his first time ever. So it was only fair I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender for my first time ever. My experience with Avatar: The Last Airbender is watching the movie, which only now I can deeply see just why it's so bad. But also I watched like 1 or 2 episodes as a kid. So this was my first time actually enjoying the show, sitting down. My perspective on the series is completely natural because I never seen it as a kid. I hold no nostalgia for the series. So everything I got out of the show, the good, the bad, and the ugly, were all natural. So what did I think of Avatar? As a whole, it was an incredible series. It presented a lot of heart to me, that it touched me emotionally, and it holds down some of my favorite moments in any piece of animation, which I will talk later on. It's incredible, it has amazing character writing, great through generational saga of something very important which holds a lot of philosophical meaning to it that is pretty much universal to any person watching. It's not a perfect series. If you ask me, it's not close to perfection. In fact, I watched a lot of other series that are closer to it. I hold that down as my subjective opinion, of course. But point stands that in this video, you have to be prepared to hear both sides. So if you're not, just you know what to do, because it's not gonna be just liking it. But this was a very good show. The first thing you need to know about Avatar: The Last Airbender is it's a Nickelodeon show, which means it's targeted for kids. You might say, why is that important? But in fact, it's actually very important. Point stands that this show is made for kids. That means no death, no blood, so you won't expect the maturity that you expect from other series. It's made to make kids cry, so if it makes you as an adult cry, it means a lot. And believe me, Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the only shows that is targeted for a very young audience at first, that made me cry, get angry, as well as just smile. So this show has accomplished a lot of things, and it holds very dear to me, believe me on that. And when I mean for kids, I don't mean for young teenagers, because shows that are for young teenagers usually are extremely more unlimited to their level of maturity they include in the show. These are for actual kids, 6 to 10-year-olds. So the level of connection I got from a series such as Avatar: The Last Airbender was incredible, considering everything around it. This show got a lot of heart, and we see that from early on to the last minute of the series. To review such a legendary show on youtube.com, you have to acknowledge the fact that it has been done a million times. Even critiquing this show is rare. Like, I can find like 3 videos about it, period, because it's that good. It's not a show that anyone dislikes. It's universally praised as amazing. So I thought the best way to go about it is just to make a video about my thoughts and not really care about anything around it. So let's get into talking about one of the most legendary animated series of all times, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Well, we gotta start from somewhere. Book 1. Water. From the first episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, in fact from the intro of the series, you come to the simple conclusion that this show has a lot of importance in the history aspect and the world building. Because when those two collide, they pretty much make up the reason why these characters are motivated the way they are. From the early episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the main characters are extremely charismatic. They make sure to range in personalities because the 3 characters that we get introduced early on are the characters we follow throughout the entirety of the journey. Aang as a protagonist goes through a very cliche journey. What makes him a unique protagonist, interestingly enough, isn't his twisted side or his personality itself, because he's the perfect hero everyone has. It's not even the struggles he goes through because he's just a kid and he wants to be normal. All of these things are that has been explored 1,000 times before in media. But what makes him special is the heart. Not only because these kids got heart, but the show itself presents the characters in a way that we actually feel for them. Avatar: The Last Airbender was clearly going for a series that is very universal, and ultimately is a series that, to me at least, is the template on how to write a fantasy series, period. It is the groundwork of a good fantasy series. And this isn't just in the West, this is like in general, because as we know, Avatar: The Last Airbender takes every single inspirational from the Eastern cultures. But this is the idea how to write a fantasy series, period. Season 1 has a lot of introducing to do, and I think it does that very good, because the way that it presents Avatar's journey is that he goes through these historical places that at first to us they just seem like normal places to the world, but later on we understand the importance of them. I like that we see a second eye to the antagonism of the world through Prince Zuko and Uncle Iroh, because after all they are the second lead protagonists to the series, and their view into the show itself are very, very interesting and very, very important, as well as they are just the best characters.
Do you realize what this means?
I won't get to finish my game.
It means my search. It's about to come to an end.
He's got black eyes. Been beaten already.
Jasmine tea.
I don't need any calming tea. I need to capture the Avatar.
I think he does need the tea. We've got to have the wise old guy. He's not drunk like normally. There's got to be element cards. He sounds a bit creepy. Have some calming tea. Never take tea off an old man.
To be fair, season 1 is pretty standard, has pretty good introduction episodes. Avatar established itself as an episodic formula which all connects at the end. It's a very character driven show, which means that the importance of the episodes are to develop the characters and to put them through struggles or experiences that mean more to the heart of the character and the way we feel for the character specifically. Every character goes through a singular journey that collides to the group they are attached to. The main two groups we see in the first series is Iroh and Zuko, and the protagonist group, which is Sokka, Katara and Aang, and it's very good, I would say. So obviously liking the individuality of the episodes is very subjective, because every single episode presents different themes, and I wouldn't say that any episodes in season 1 are bad. None of them peak very high in any way possible. The only 2 episodes I didn't like as much as the rest were episode 11, The Great Divide, which is one of the most disliked episodes apparently. I checked the ratings and other stuff, and also is episode 18, surprisingly enough to me, because these 2 episodes to me bring up my biggest dislike for season 1 and my biggest problem for season 1, which actually changed seasons later, but we're gonna talk about just season 1 now. And that dislike is that my favorite part about any fantasy series, period, is when it's exploring actual human-like personalities, in the idea that a kid is a very pure human-like personality. So when we have a kid in the series, that represents the idea that it doesn't need to be a complex written person. This person works very simple, so very single ideas that Aang goes through and very single naive stuff that he does to me are okay because he's a kid. But my favorite part of any fantasy series with a kid as a protagonist, the kid getting introduced and crashing into the three-dimensional world of the other adults around him. This single crash is the conflict that to me holds most dear in most fantasy series or more drama series, period. So it's very interesting, and Avatar doesn't have that. Avatar writes all of their characters as they are kids, and I know this might seem offensive to some, but I mean that. Avatar writes every single character as they are kids, except from one character. And let me say this, Avatar has the best characters as they are kids, the best written cast, period. Aang, Sokka, Zuko are some of the best written characters that are quote-unquote kids in fantasy series period. In The Great Divide, they convince an 100 years feud of adults by a simple lie. I don't have a problem with the lie itself, I more have a problem with the idea that adults in the three-dimensional world would be so easy to accept such a naive idea, which is extremely unrealistic. Same with episode 18, where they literally convinced a waterbending master that has gone through their ways through with like decades just with
He realizes that Katara is his granddaughter of his ex-fiancé, so now I will indeed teach her, even though I have these ideas that I had for years.
So when I say that this show writes every single character as a kid, I mean that. So the best parts of this series is when only the kids are there. The last two episodes for a finale were amazing, incredible. I love them. The final of season 1 is incredible. Like the fighting, the way that it's presented, it's incredible. And this is where my dislike for a certain main character started, not gonna lie. But also this season is when my like for two of my favorite characters started. Also Appa. Appa is the most incredible thing to ever come out of this show and any animation period. Appa is incredible. Appa is God. If there is a religion based on just praising Appa, I will sign on it. That's all I'm gonna say. Now let's talk about book 2, Earth.
Leaves from the vine, falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells.
This is my favorite season of Avatar. A lot of people prefer season 3 to this, but season 2 to me, book 2 to me, was my favorite part of Avatar: The Last Airbender. This book to me holds some of my favorite episodes, some of my favorite moments in any piece of fiction period, and this might come as a surprise to you, but I will fully go in detail why. First of all, this season to me opens in a very intense way to the possibility that creates one of my favorite conflicts in Aang. We explored this a little bit in season 1, but in season 2 specifically, it's incredible. Aang to me always presented a character that above everything is the idea that he's just a kid who has been put up in a hero place despite not wanting to be too. It's incredible, not gonna lie. The beginning of season 2 has some of the best beginnings in any animation season period. 7 episodes into this season, we arrive at episode 27, Zuko Alone. Zuko Alone is one of the best episodes in Avatar: The Last Airbender. It includes a character-driven episodes, but the exploration of a character who deep inside him is more accepting of a side of him that is not right and doesn't make him happy than the side of him that makes him happy and is the correct thing to do. I relate a lot to Zuko, and I'm sure that he is the fan favorite character of this series, so it makes sense why. In this season we actually get introduced to Azula, which by the way is the best villain of this series. Azula is a character that is not just a psychopathic character, but is a character that is written to be unlikable. There is a great video that goes on the psychology of Azula on YouTube. I will link it below. And what I learned about Azula is that she might be in my top 5 favorite Avatar characters, but as well as above that, what I learned about Azula is that in the end of season 3, she still was and is likable to me because I understand why her decisions came their way. We get introduced to the friends of Azula, which by the way, great character designs and some very good personalities and some great moments. We get introduced to the blind bandit. Is there anything bad to say about her? Of course not, she's just amazing. Then we get great episodes this season. This season holds the most good episodes. By that I mean episodes that are exceptionally good from any season of Avatar. Some of the ones I can of course say that I like the most are of course Avatar Day, The Blind Bandit, Zuko Alone, which by the way there are 3 episodes in a row and all of them are like 9 out of 10 episodes, which is incredible. Then we got The Library later on, which is an incredible episode. But to talk about my favorite episodes in Avatar: The Last Airbender is the Tales of Ba Sing Se. This episode is the episode that not only made me cry the most, but this is the only episode that made me cry. The Tales of Ba Sing Se is an episode that is cut in 3 halves, and To be fair to you, the other two halves are very good, like above exceptionally good, but the one half to me that is absolute masterpiece is the Iroh part. Iroh is the best character from Avatar The Last Airbender. He represents the idea that it's not much, but it's good work. Honest work. Iroh's quotes through the journey of Avatar The Last Airbender are some of the most inspiring, and as well his philosophy is great. The 4 minutes and 13 seconds from the Tales of Ba Sing Se are some of the most universally great pieces of animation I ever seen. I will honestly say that the first 4 minutes and 13 seconds of the Tales of Iroh from episode 15 of season 2, episode 35 of Avatar The Last Airbender, the 4 minutes that were included in the Tales of Iroh are impaired with the opening of the movie Up as two of the greatest pieces of the animation, period. Anyone, any age, can watch this and just shed a tear. No matter if they watch all of Avatar, no matter if they don't care about Avatar, it's just beautiful. This episode made me fall in love with Iroh, my favorite Avatar character. He's just incredible. After that, we get the episode called Appa Lost Days, which is incredible as well. That episode is like top 5 episodes in Avatar for me. And it's kind of funny because all the top 3 Avatar episodes for me are all from season 2. I mean, when I say season 2 is my favorite, don't I? Then, the last episodes of season 2 are all great as well. Iroh to me represents a 3-dimensional character, believe it or not, which is the idea that his character journey and his motivation are explored through his backstories. So in the part of Avatar The Last Airbender, in our history, on our exploration of it, Iroh has already went through his character journey. And in Avatar The Last Airbender is more as his resolve. His determination is unmatched because he never changes an idea through the series because he's already developed, but just showing that development to us is just incredible. My favorite moment on the series is when he's visiting the palace of Ba Sing Se and he says, "One day I imagined that I will come here as a conqueror, but today I come as invited from the king to serve tea," which is one of the greatest moments I ever seen in any animated series. That's how much I fell in love with this kids show. Appa's Lost Day is incredible. Is also an episode that I shed a tear on. I didn't fully cry, but Appa is just actually an amazing character, and ironically he's amazing. Like every way you can think about Appa, Appa is amazing, period. I don't have a lot of negative things to say about this season overall. In fact, I have little bad words to say. My least favorite thing about this season is some things that happened at the ending. Despite I thinking that this is the best ending of all the 3 seasons, and despite thinking that this ending is actually very good, like amazing good, it includes the actual villain of the ending, which is meant to be the Dai Li, came to me as a very bad character because his character service to me was ruined by the fact that he lost, and not only he lost because you would imagine in a kids show they won't be as progressive as letting the villain win, but the idea is that he lost in a way that made me question how did he even get this far, because the way he lost was so dumb that legit I'm wondering like how can a dumb person like this can even bow a country down to his knees as he did. But anyways, this season actually made me love Azula, so I'm okay with everything. Again, proving that the best thing about Avatar is the kid and the way they are written. The moment we get adults involved is the moment that we ruin most of it. Right now you just experienced a man simping over Iroh because he's my favorite character, and as well as me saying that season 2 is the best, which is my opinion. Again, I know a lot of people like season 3 more. Season 2 to me is amazing. Now let's get into the last book of Avatar The Last Airbender. Fire! Die! This season was obviously meant to be the final of the show, which of course peaks high. because we see the final developments of every single character. But as well as what I really enjoyed about this season is that they didn't finish developing the characters. For example, we don't just see Aang getting ready for war the entirety of the season, or we don't just see Sokka getting ready for war, but through their journey of getting ready for the final episodes is their journey as well as improving some of their imperfections, as well as, for example, episode 44, Sokka's Master, which includes the introduction of a new older master that is okay with Sokka being a Watcher tribe, and then the idea that swords as a whole are not meant to be for a single country but are meant to be for anyone who are skilled enough to wield them, are very, very cool stuff. The Painted Lady, interesting episodes indeed. All of these episodes are very, very good. If you compare the episodes of season 3 to the episodes of season 1, you can see the absolute improvement on writing as a whole they get through. Episode 45, The Beach, is one of my favorite episodes in Avatar as well, because it just represented to me a lot and made me fall actually in love with some of the characters, made me understand Azula as well as understand her motivation, because after all she's actually the best villain from Avatar The Last Airbender, and actually understand the idea behind Azula. Again, just proves to me just how good this writer writes kids. Like, it's amazingly how good he writes kids character, and just how talented he is at doing that, like exceptionally talented at doing that. Like, Azula is a 14-year-old kid, which is written so amazingly. She has human complexity in her childlike personality, which is incredible. So I understand my own problem when I say that all the characters are written like kids, because some of the older characters, when I see at their kid-like personality, I can understand why it doesn't make sense at all, of course, and it's hugely misused, but at the same time, who cares? The show has amazing heart behind it. The Avatar and the Fire Lord obviously is one of the best episodes as well. Usually I dislike the idea of connecting an entire generation behind it, because as you know, Naruto did it and Naruto fucked it up, because Naruto not only was the kid who was meant through hard work and hard journey to become the greatest Hokage to ever exist and to be acknowledged by but he just became the child of prophecy, connecting himself with hundreds and thousands of generations that from the second he was born he was destined to become who he did. So Avatar is different, because Avatar and Aang knew that he was destined to become from episode 1, but what differentiates him that he sometimes questioned that if he can become, and later on questioned if he should become, because he gained friends and family through the way that maybe sometimes he just didn't want to save the world, he just wanted to live as a simple happy kid. And that's what makes Avatar great. And this connection I mostly dislike is the Fire Lord part of it, because Sozin and the rest of the Fire Lords kind of become one-dimensional, which again is okay, because Ozin is not meant to be the great three-dimensional character that will have a journey parallel to the protagonist or something like that. No, it doesn't need to be that complex, because the character who has a parallel journey to the protagonist himself is Zuko, because Zuko legit has a parallel journey to Aang from episode 1 of the series. So my friend described Ozai as a mean to an end, which I understand fully. And then they have an attack on the palace and the Fire Nation, which again was very anticipated by me, and it was very good, to be fair, because it includes the underground moments which are just pure and amazing, the Azula moments, the Zuko moments against Ozai, which are just incredible, and that moment to me represents Zuko becoming a three-dimensional character, where he literally could defeat Ozai there, but he didn't. The reason being that it is not his destiny. It was incredible, but also again reminds me of the one-dimensionally of the side characters, which are literally like nobody dies in this. Like all of them should die. Sorry, I'm used to seeing. Reminder: this is a kid show. Sorry. It's a kid show. Then at the last episodes and the last fight, of course, we get the great battle between Avatar and Aang and Ozai. It's great. Then we get the old masters. We get moments between Iroh, and Iroh himself said that I saw I saw a vision when I was a kid that I was gonna combat Basting Say. Through his entire life he thought it was as a conqueror, but now as he's getting old, he understands that it's to save Basting Say, which again just melts my heart because this show has so much heart. Then the ending itself, it's incredible, it's very good. It's my least favorite ending of all the 3 seasons actually, but it's still amazing. The reason being is that Sozin's comet and everything behind it, like it's good, but it doesn't lack anything. It serves its purpose as the ending of the series, and it's good. Like it's good. I might have expected more. That's one reason why I don't find it as amazing, but it's good. It's good. My least favorite thing about the ending, and I said this to my friend before, here I'm gonna find a screenshot. I was like, if Azula gets defeated by Katara, I'm done. Katara is my least favorite of the main character. I find her character to be shiesty. I'm sorry, you can hate me for that, it's okay, I just don't like Katara. Katara is shiesty. I know why they did it, I mean, they did the same thing in Infinity War, so why they wouldn't do here, so I understand, it's okay. I like Avatar The Last Airbender ending, and it's very good. The actual ending, when we see Zuko, is just incredible. When he confronts his father, and then we see everyone happy. It's just good, it's good. I am glad that I didn't watch Avatar as a kid, because watching Avatar as now, when my thoughts and my opinions on new shows have increased, is incredible. Creates new layers of perspective and makes me absolutely realize what is good and what I like, what I dislike, like from the moment that it's gone. Not having nostalgia for a show really puts new perspectives to you, and I liked Avatar The Last Airbender. My favorite thing about the series was the heart. Iroh is the embodiment of the heart in the series, so of course he's my favorite character from the series, and there is nothing wrong with anything. I know that a lot of people who have watched Avatar when they were younger view the series as their favorite series and as a masterpiece. It's not perfect because nothing is perfect, and it's not near to perfect because I think I watched many animated series alone that are better than Avatar, mostly anime, but it's amazingly good written. It has incredible characters. For a character driven show, it has some of the best kid written characters. Ironically, I critique how every character is written as a kid, and the best character from the series is an amazingly written adult called Iroh. Iroh is amazing, love Iroh please. Then it includes Appa, which again just puts a new rating to the series as a whole, because Appa is God. Here is a list of my favorite Avatar The Last Airbender episodes. These are the episodes that I enjoyed the most, meant the most to me, the episodes that I will rewatch the most, and the episodes that touched me the most emotionally. Here is a list of the episodes that I didn't like the most. I don't think any of the episodes are like 1 out of 10 bad, but some of them are below average, which is okay. Nothing is perfect, like I said before, and it's subjective. I'm sure somebody actually likes the episodes here, and now in the comments they will argue why they like. This is just my opinion, let's be honest. Here is my favorite characters from Avatar The Last Airbender. As you can expect, these are everybody's favorite character, because all the best characters in Avatar The Last Airbender are pretty easy to notice, and here they are. Here are the seasons and how I rate them. Rating to me is extremely subjective, to the point that I literally think that nobody rates the same things the same way, because rating is extremely subjective. So don't look at this and be like,
why isn't it there? The 9 out of 10? Oh my god, what the?
No, because rating is subjective. Like, is the most subjective thing you can do. Like 6ix9ine said, man lie, woman lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers never lie. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about the Avatar The Last Airbender. I will definitely check Legend of Korra out, and I know that a lot of videos are uploaded to YouTube critiquing the Legend of Korra, and if you expect me to do a video about Legend of Korra, no, I won't do a Legend of Korra video, because there is no point to, and I won't go with a sheep mentality. I know nothing about Legend of Korra, so if I like it, I'ma say I like it. If you want want to follow my journey of watching Legend of Korra, follow me on Twitter. I will live tweet my thoughts about Legend of Korra. And yes, I will just tweet everything I think about Legend of Korra. I'm gonna start watching from tomorrow, from the day that the video is uploaded. So yeah, Legend of Korra is gonna be watched by me, but it's gonna take a while, but it's gonna be honest watch, not a sheep mentality, and I'm gonna try to be as fair to Legend of Korra as I was to Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't expect it to be as good, so yeah. Huge thank you to my friend for making me watch this show, because genuinely speaking, at times that I live on right now, I am taking stuff too seriously sometimes, and I just forget that the best thing about series is the heart itself, and I shouldn't expect masterful written characters from any series, despite that Avatar Last Airbender had Iroh, so there is no complaining there, Zuko as well, but the point stands that the heart is what makes a series good. You can enjoy a series despite everything around it, so the idea is that I am very glad I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's pretty much what I had to say about it. I want to hear your opinions. I am sure a lot of people have watched this series as a kid, and if you haven't watched this series in 10 years or 5 years and you made it to the end of this video, go give it a rewatch. It definitely deserves your time. We are in quarantine. Waste your time well, waste your time with the best. Watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. I am glad I got to finish this. Comment your thoughts down below. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter for Legend of Korra, but as well just because it's a great Twitter account. Come on, look at Kurapika. Have a nice rest of the day. I am signing out. Before I leave for good, daily reminder: if you are having a bad day, remember that Appa exists and he is amazing. Now I'm actually gone. Bye.